Hello everybody and welcome to part 1 of my Skyrim creation kit tutorial series. Today I'm going to be covering how to create a player owned home. First, it should be noted you can create the home out of absolutely anything you wish. You can build it out of dungeon objects if you want, whatever you like. It is not important. There is a few settings you need to change to make sure that the game recognizes it as a player owned home. I will go over these so that your home will be safe, you won't lose your items, anything like that. I will also go over how to link it to the overworld. Now, the first thing you want to do is the easiest and quickest way. Like I say, you can build this from scratch yourself, but I am going to, just for the sake of showing you, just duplicate an existing cell because this is the easiest way, and then edit it. So we're going to type in solitude, and we scroll down, and we right click, and we click duplicate cell. So now we have duplicated Bryling's house. You can see right here, solitude Bryling's house, copy 0000. Left click on the copy, rename it. Now what we're going to rename this, you can rename it whatever you want, but the easiest thing I find is to put zeros, press enter, and it will always appear at the top of the interiors tab. Now what we must do is right click this, click edit. Now go to the interior data tab. Now this is important. The name here is what will actually show up in the game. The 0000 is only the name for it in the creation kit. So you name this whatever you want. So there we go, my home. Whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. So now the encounter zone here, you must change this to no reset zone. So the easiest way to do this is just to click in the encounter zone box and type in no reset zone. Press enter, and there you go. Press OK. Now this house is safe. What this means is your items in the containers and the house in general will not respawn. It will be absolutely safe to store your stuff in, and there you go. One thing we must do quickly is to make sure that the home is there you go. Down here on the owner faction, it says Solitude Bryling's house faction. That means how Bryling actually owns this house because it's a duplicate. So what we want to do, click on that tab, scroll up, none. Now on the lock list, again, click that, scroll up, none. This means it's not locked and that it has no owner. You can type in player bed ownership and player faction. If you put it under the player faction, it means your player owns this house. You can do that, but you can leave it under none. That is also fine. Press OK. Now to edit the house, double click, click yes to all. Yes to all again. Okay. Just the basics of how to control your camera. If you click on an object to highlight it, you can hold left shift on the keyboard and move your mouse around, and you can also hold middle mouse button and move your mouse around, and you can scroll the mouse wheel. Those are the three main ways you will get around in the creation kit. If you want to remove an object, simply click on that object and press delete. Simple as that. Now what you must do if you're duplicating a cell that has NPCs in it, for example this guy here, what this represents is where the NPC will spawn. So obviously you don't want to have multiple cells in the game where the NPC has spawn points because it will confuse the hell out of the game. You only want one spawn point, so that will be the original one. So just delete any of these because these are unnecessary duplicate spawn points, and you don't want random guys appearing in your house as well. Maybe you do, but I certainly don't. And also down here, this chest, if you left click on it, you can see it has loads of yellow lines. This means it is important in some way. Usually it means it's related to a quest or a faction or a vendor. So we delete that as well because we don't want a quest related vendor item or whatever in our house. Now, going to go over the very basics of decorating the house. You want to delete an item, like I say, left click, click delete. If we want to put an alchemy station down here, for example, we want to clear out the things in this corner. The quickest way, press left click, highlight, and there you go, it's highlighted all these items. Press delete, left click, press delete, and there we go. So we can clear out this corner pretty quick, and this is where we're going to put our crafting alchemy station. Now as you can see up here, I've already typed in crafting in the filter tab. This is the easiest way. This will show you the cooking stations, the blacksmith stations, the alchemy stations, the enchanting stations, because they all fall under the prefix crafting. Now what you must do is make sure you scroll down and click on the all button. If you do not, it will not show up. Now to put it in the game, simply left click on it and drag it in. And if you want to position it accurately, what these two buttons do, this is snap to grid and this is snap to angle. Snap to grid will move it to specific places in the grid. I find I never really use snap to grid. I don't find it that useful, but you might do. What I mostly do is use snap to angle. That way you can hold right click on the mouse, move your mouse, and you will rotate it to be perfectly lined up. Then you can simply hit left click on the object and drag it around with your mouse to put it where you want. If you want to move it on specific angles, like for example the Z axis up and down, hold Z on your keyboard, left click, move your mouse, and it can go up and down. If you want to put it back on the ground, press F on your keyboard. Same with the X and Y axis. Hold X on your keyboard, left click on the object, and it moves only along the X axis. Hold Y on your keyboard, left click on the object, and it moves along the Y axis. That is the very basics of decorating your home. Now I'm going to quickly show you how to link your home via these load doors, meaning when you go through it you get a load screen and you appear somewhere else. I'm going to show you how to link this load door to an exterior load door where you can put your house down in the overworld. This is the way you enter and exit your house, so it is absolutely essential. Now the easiest way for us to do this is to duplicate the exterior of the house we duplicated. Yes, that's a lot of duplicates. But again, you can create everything from scratch, but this is obviously just a tutorial, so this is the quickest way for me to do it. So if we type in Solitude, there we go, Solitude Browning's house, we click enter, and we are now inside his house, the original one, not the duplicate. And let's find the door. There it is. Press M. You will show markers. This yellow marker, if we left click on it, this represents where you or an NPC going through the load door will appear. And the arrow here on top of the marker represents which way you will be facing. You obviously want to have it facing away from the door, otherwise you'll appear through the door facing a wall or something, and it will look stupid. So what we do now, double click on this, click yes, and what this will do is teleport us outside of Bryling's house. Give it a few seconds to load, and there we go. Scroll out, press M to turn markers off. Now this is the exterior of Bryling's house. Since we have duplicated Bryling's house, it's going to look basically exactly the same in terms of size, so this is a good basis for our exterior of our house. So if we left click on the house and then hold Control on the keyboard and left click on the door, we will have both of these items highlighted. Now we can copy this by either holding Control and C on the keyboard, or we can right click and press copy. Now you then want to find a good place to put the house down by pasting it, but again, just because this is simply an example, we are just going to put it in this corner here. Even though it looks stupid, right click, click paste. You can also press Control and V on the keyboard, move it around, put it in a decent position. Again, this looks stupid, but this is simply for an example. Now we link the door with the interior door. Double click on the door. We are already on the teleport tab. You will be by default. Tick the teleport box, then click the cell tab, then click on the name of the cell. That is the name you named it down here in the interiors tab, not when you right clicked it and edited the name that it will appear as in the game. Make sure you pick the 0 name or whatever you called it down here, and there you go. It will automatically link it up with the load door in the house, because there is only one load door inside the house. So do that, click OK, and it is now linked. To check this, press M, and you can see our marker has appeared here, showing where our NPC or ourselves will appear. It is in a really stupid place, so we need to move it, rotate it around so it's facing the right way. Press F, put it on the ground. And there we go, that's where we will appear. Now if we want to edit the inside one, the easiest way, double click, click yes. It will now teleport us inside. You can see this one's in a stupid place as well. So again, you want to move this. Make sure it's not out here in the void, which is this grey area, or you'll just appear out there and, you know, fall through the ground and it'll look really strange. Make sure you move it inside the cell and put it in a natural place in front of the door. Again, press F to put it on the ground and make sure the arrow is facing away from the door. And we press M to turn markers off again. One quick tip again is to press A on your keyboard will turn lighting off, and that way you can have no lighting at all, and it will just be natural and you can see what you're doing clearer. So there you go. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. I will be doing tutorials on further things in the creation kit, and please feel free to subscribe and comment. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I helped. I will see you next time.